Hello, my dear students. How are you? So, in last class, we were studying about microorganisms. And we have studied that they are classified into 4 groups. Which are they? Bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and algae. And we have studied about their features and examples and all. I am sure that you know that. And in addition that, we can see there are some viruses. So what do you know about viruses? What do you know about virus? Viruses, where we don't know whether they are living or non-living. If they are outside the body of an organism, they are non-living. That means they don't show any of the characteristics of a living thing. So they will look like a non-living thing. But when they enter the body of an organism, human being or an animal or a plant, when they enter into the body of a host, they will enter into the cell of the host and uses that cell as its own machinery, and it begins to divide. It begins to multiply, or it begins to reproduce and increase in large number. And most of the viruses causes many serious diseases to us. So the viruses, we can see they are at the borderline of a living thing and a non-living. And they are very, very small, and we can see them only through electron microscope. So when they are outside the body of host, they will look like a non-living thing. But when they enter into the body of a host, they will begin to reproduce, increase in large number, and they will be active, and they will act like a living thing. And most of them causes many, many serious diseases to us also. So common cold, cough, polio, chickenpox, all these are caused by viruses. In addition, you know, AIDS. AIDS is a serious disease, and this AIDS is also caused by a virus. Which is that virus? That virus is HIV. That means human immunovirus. And last year you have heard about Nipah virus, and nowadays every day you are hearing about coronavirus. So viruses causes so many fatal diseases. Then we were studying about the different groups of microorganisms. Protozoa. So protozoa causes so many diseases like dysentery, malaria, etc. So you should study the names of some diseases caused by these groups of microorganisms. So protozoa causes dysentery, malaria. The next group is what? Bacteria. So bacteria causes so many diseases like typhoid. Then tuberculosis or TB is caused by bacteria. Then cholera is caused by bacteria. And another group is fungi. So fungi, they will cause so many skin infections or skin diseases. Because skin infections are caused by so many fungi. Okay. So you should study the names of the diseases caused, examples of diseases caused by virus, bacteria, protozoa, fungus, etc. And next we can look, where do they live? Where do these microorganisms live? And most of the microorganisms are unicellular, but some algae, some fungus and all are multicellular. And they can survive everywhere. They can live in hot places, they can live in cold places, they can live in a desert, or they can live in marshy areas also. And some of them are found inside the body of living things. Some live in colonies. Colonies means what? In groups. Fungi, bacteria and all usually live in colonies. Some live alone. So for example, protozoa like amoeba and all, they live alone also. Okay, and some are harmful for us, some are useful for us. So next we can study about some friendly microbes. Friendly microbes means microorganisms that are useful for us. And mainly some microorganisms are used in the preparation of food. So what are the uses of microorganisms? One use is that they help in the preparation of food. Preparation of food. So for preparing cake, bread, wine and all, some microorganisms are used. Then another use is that these microorganisms will help to increase the fertility of soil. So all these uses we can study in detail later. So they will help to increase the fertility of the soil. So you have studied about rhizobium bacteria and all. So they will increase the fertility of soil. And another use is that these microorganisms, when plants and animals die, what happens? The dead body is decomposed by these microorganisms. If there were no microorganisms, all the dead bodies will remain on the land itself. Then there won't be enough space for us to live. So all these dead things are decayed by microorganisms and they are keeping the environment clean. So another use is that they help to clean the environment. Okay, so they help to clean the environment and they are also used in the preparation of some medicines. So another use is that they are used for the preparation of medicines. Okay, so what are the uses of microorganisms? They are used in the preparation of food. They help to increase the fertility of soil. They keep the environment clean. They will decompose all the dead matters and keep the environment clean. They are used in the preparation of some medicines. Okay, so now we can study these uses in detail. Okay, so first we can study how these microorganisms help us in the preparation of food. So making of curd and bread. So how they help in the making of curd and bread. Okay, so you might have seen your mother adding a little amount of curd to milk and keep it aside, and next day what happened? The milk will change into curd. So why your mother is adding a little curd to milk to set curd for the next day? Why she is adding a little curd? The curd contains several microorganisms and mainly the bacteria called Lactobacillus bacteria. It will promote the formation of curd. So what is the name of the bacteria? Lactobacillus bacteria. So the bacteria called Lactobacillus, that will help in the formation of curd. So when we are adding a little amount of curd to a glass of milk, what happened? The bacteria that is present in that curd, they will multiply and increase in number. And when they increase in number, they will convert all milk into curd. So this bacteria is helping for making curd. Okay. And so the bacteria multiplies in the milk and it converts the milk into curd. And again, there are so many, some other bacteria are used for making cheese, pickles and many other food items. Now we can look how we can make bread. So we can make bread by using a fungus called yeast. Yeast is also a microorganism. It comes under the group fungi and it is a unicellular organism. Okay. And is yeast, when it gets favorable conditions, it will begin to multiply fast. It will begin to reproduce. It will begin to increase in number. So favorable condition means when the climate is not very cold. If it is warm, they can multiply in number. And if they get enough nutrients, glucose is there, they can multiply easily in number. So when we add yeast into our food items, there will be some sugar in our food items. And last year, do you remember you study about the respiration in yeast? You remember what is the more type of respiration in yeast? Type of respiration in yeast is anaerobic respiration. What is anaerobic respiration? It is the type of respiration that takes place in the absence of oxygen. So yeast undergoes anaerobic respiration. You remember? So what happens in the absence of oxygen? What happened? This glucose is broken down into, during respiration it is broken down into what? Alcohol and carbon dioxide. So when this yeast respire, what all things are produced? Alcohol is produced and carbon dioxide is produced. And you know carbon dioxide is a gas. Okay. So when we add yeast into our dough, what happens? When we add yeast into our dough, the yeast will get favorable conditions and they will begin to reproduce. They will multiply and increase in their number. And when they increase in number, all the yeast will be undergoing respiration. And when they undergo respiration, all the yeast, large number of yeast will be formed and all the yeast will be giving out carbon dioxide. And this carbon dioxide enter into our dough and bubbles of the gas fill the dough and increase its volume. So what happened to our dough? Due to carbon dioxide, our dough will increase in volume. Okay, and using that dough we can prepare bread, cake or some other food items. Okay, so what is happening? When we add yeast into our dough, it reproduces rapidly and undergo respiration and give out which gas? Carbon dioxide. And bubbles of the gas fill the dough and increase its volume. And this is the basis of the use of yeast in baking industry for making bread, cakes, etc. Okay, so how our dough increase in its volume? Because what is added into the dough? Carbon dioxide is added into the dough. That will increase the volume. And when we cook, what happens? Due to that heat, carbon dioxide will escape and our food item will become, there will be some air space in the food item and food item will become spongy also, soft and spongy. Okay, in your textbook you can see this activity 2.3. So what is written in that activity? Take half kilogram flour of atta or maida, add some sugar and mix with warm water. Add a small amount of yeast powder and knead to make a soft dough. What do you observe after 2 hours? Did you find the dough rising? So that's the activity. So first you mix the flour with yeast and kept it aside. After few hours you can see the amount. First it was only this much. After few hours the dough rises. It increases in its volume. Why it increases in its volume? What happens? Why it increases in its volume? Because we add yeast. Yeast undergoes respiration and give out carbon dioxide. And due to the carbon dioxide, what happens? The dough increases in its volume. So when we add this yeast to our dough, what happens to our dough? That will increase in its volume and food item will be soft and spongy also. Okay. So next we can study about the commercial use of microorganisms. So what we can study? Commercial use of microorganisms. So the microorganisms are used for the large-scale production of alcohol, wine and acetic acid. So it is used, these microorganisms or yeast is used for the commercial production of alcohol and wine. So what they are doing? So we study during respiration, yeast give out what? Glucose is broken down in the absence of oxygen. Glucose is broken down into energy plus carbon dioxide plus alcohol. So due to this carbon dioxide, the dove rises and increases in volume. Now what also it is giving out? It is giving out alcohol also. So for that there is one activity in your textbook, that is activity 2.4. So what is written? Take a 500 milliliter beaker filled up to 3/4 with water. Dissolve 2 to 3 teaspoons of sugar in it. So what should we add? We should add some sugar to the water. Add half a spoon of yeast powder to the sugar solution. Then you should add some yeast. Keep it covered in a warm place. So we study the favorable condition is warm climate. So keep it in a warm place for 4 to 5 hours. Now smell the solution. Can you get a smell? So after keeping it for some hours, take it. You can see it rises in its or increases in its volume, and at the same time you will get a smell. And what is the smell? The smell we will get the smell of alcohol. Why? Because glucose is broken down and it is changed into alcohol. So we will get the smell of alcohol from it. Okay. So yeast produces alcohol during respiration. So using this property, we can use yeast for preparing wine and alcohol, etc. Okay. So what we can do? For this, yeast is grown on natural sugars present in grains like barley, wheat, rice, etc. So we are adding yeast to along with some grains. So inside the grains there are sugar is present inside the grains. So this yeast will begin to break down the sugar that is present in the grains and give out what? Carbon dioxide, alcohol and energy. Okay. Or of how we make wine. We can prepare wine in our own houses. How we can prepare? We can use some grapes, then crush the grapes, keep it in a closed jar. Then we want to add some sugar into it and add some yeast into it. Cover it tightly. And after within 1 month we can see what? Yeast will convert all the sugar that is present inside the juice into alcohol. So the juice of grapes change into wine. Okay. So like this we can prepare wine in large amount for commercial purposes by using this yeast. Okay. So we will get the smell of alcohol if we add sugar and yeast in warm water and keep it in a warm place. After few hours we will get the smell of alcohol. So what is happening? The sugar is converted into alcohol by yeast. So what happened if we add alcohol, this yeast into glucose? If we add yeast into glucose, what happened? The sugar inside the glucose is converted into alcohol. So what happened? Sugar is converted into alcohol. Okay. And this process of conversion of sugar into alcohol, that process is called fermentation. Fermentation. So what is fermentation? The process of conversion of sugar into alcohol is called fermentation. So for preparing our food items, we are using fermented duff. Okay, and the process of converting that sugar into alcohol by yeast, that process is called fermentation. So using this we can prepare wine, alcohol, acetic acid and so many other food items also. Okay, clear? So when yeast undergoes respiration, it gives out carbon dioxide. So using that property, we can prepare food items like bread, cake and all. And when they respire, they are also giving alcohol. Using that property, we can prepare wine also. Okay. And some bacteria are used for converting milk into curd, preparing pickles and all. Clear, no? And do you know who discovered this process of fermentation? This process of fermentation, it was discovered by the scientist called Louis Pasteur. Louis Pasteur. So who discovered fermentation? It was discovered by the scientist called Louis Pasteur. And not only fermentation, he discovered some other things also. Do you have any idea? Who discovered the vaccine for rabies? The vaccine for rabies was also discovered by the same person, Louis Pasteur. And also he invented pasteurization also. So pasteurization, that process also was invented by Louis Pasteur. And this process of fermentation, it was discovered in the year 1857. So in 1857, Louis Pasteur discovered the process of fermentation. Clear? Okay, so today we study the about the uses of microorganisms, and we study in detail only one use. What is that? Preparation of food items. So how microorganisms help us in the preparation of food items. And we saw that some bacteria, mainly lactobacillus bacteria, help us to convert milk into curd. Some bacteria help in the preparation of pickles. And yeast is used for making bread, cake, etc. And also yeast is used for making wine. And which process is used there? That process of conversion of sugar into alcohol, that is called fermentation. Clear now? Okay, bye.